Hello everyone. It is October 30th. I've been very busy with work the last 3 weeks, long days, so I haven't really been able to do much in the greenhouse or really look around too much. And then I was away for the weekend and I just came back to this absolute beautiful sight of all the mums in bloom, and it makes me realize why I actually grow these late varieties in my kind of unheated, basically it's a wooden hoop house against the side of my house. And I understand now why I do it, because it is just so beautiful at this time of year. And it's so worthwhile to give them this prime space, this prime growing space. So let me take you through a few of them. So I've discussed this one already. This one is Crabby, and it's fallen over because I have not staked appropriately. It's an unexplainable kind of color, but I'll try. Peachy, beigey, with a tinge of yellow, perhaps. If you're looking for stem length, this is the one that's going to do it. It has huge stems. It's beautiful. It's kind of got a flat back, which I think makes it probably easier to arrange. It's just fabulous. It's so beautiful. There's ways to make them not grow so tall. There's certain treatments you can use. I'd say this is probably going on 7 feet, but sometimes you just need the height, especially if you have the space. It's almost hitting the top, so I'm almost out of space. So that's Crabby. And then I think I've shown you already one called Nong Kai. I mean, it's everywhere here. I think this is just maybe 1 or 2 plants, but it's just blooming. It's a little hard out. It's again kind of a flatter on the back. Might make it easier for arranging. Very floriferous. It was a little more difficult for me to root from the cuttings. I don't know if that's going to hold out to this year or next year as well when I try to start them for sales, but we'll see. So I hope to be able to offer this one for sale as well as the Crabby. And then this one had been given to me as Anastasia bronze. So I was expecting more of a, so it's definitely a spider, which is what Anastasia bronze is supposed to be. Sorry, let me just try to angle in on one of these blooms. Not really doing a very good job, I apologize. I'm expecting it maybe to be an orangey kind of bronzy color, but it's more of pink and yellow. Could be, you know, the yellowing and the color change could be associated with the fact that we had cold temperatures. These, they look a little messy right now because they're not fully open, but once they're fully open, I'll show them to you again, and they'll be flat like my hand, and the petals will all be sprung out. It's beautiful. I love the way that little petals curl. So I'll try to find the true name. Maybe it is an Anastasia bronze. I find it unlikely, but I'll find out the proper name for this one. And then I had been showing some images of this one. So this is called Protection. It's such a unique chrysanthemum. Oh, hi Astro. That's one of my wiener dogs. Astro. Bitty bee. Hi buddy. That's Astro. And then I also have another wiener dog named Lyra, and she's white with black spots, and she's like teeny. She's like maybe 10 pounds. Astro's my senior dog. Hey buddy. Anyways, back to chrysanthemums. So here is again Protection. It's just so interesting. So I should have some of these, I'm hoping. And then this is Buff Margaret, and that's exactly what the color is. Like a buff yellow peachy, I don't know. I'm not a very good person to describe color. And this one is called Silent. The bloom will get a little bit bigger yet, and I've had ones that have had larger blooms. These are examples of this one, I think. The Buff Margaret, yeah, you can see they're in pots. So they grew in the ground all summer. There's the Buff Margaret pot back there. They grew in the ground all summer, and then I was worried that the frost was going to get them. So I dug them out of the ground, and I do this every year, and they're fine. They're putting on spectacular blooms. I have quite a few, and I'll show you as I go through. Oh, this is Paula Red Spoon. This is a new variety for me too. I hadn't seen the bloom open, but this is it. It's interesting. It's very, the petals are really folded up right until the very tip. I haven't seen ones that are that folded. Or I guess they're called, that's called involute. Here's some of the buds when it hasn't opened yet. So it's Paula Red Spoon and Silent. And then we get onto this bad boy, which is flowering, has a little heart out, and his name is Daymark. Daymark, yes. And it is so cool because it's like a single, semi-single, but with anemone form and a kind of a yellowy-green center. And all of these blooms are gonna look like that. Here's another one that's kind of almost fully open as well. Let me get the camera in here to show you. There. So all of these blooms are gonna look like that. That is gonna be such a beautiful display. I have to sneak around it because there's no space anymore. So that's Daymark. I really like this one. It's a nice tall, and it is a really healthy, vigorous grower. So lovely, Daymark. Here is Apricot Courtier with a little bumblebee. So I still have, I have the doors open because it gets very warm in here when the sun's out. So I have bumblebees that are still coming and, you know, hopefully enjoying. I also have dahlias still in the backyard, so I've just left them, even though they're all, you know, falling over and everything. I've just left them just to let the bumblebees have a little bit more food a little bit longer, and they find their way in and out the door. This is just like the peach of the Apricot Courtier, the green of the Anastasia green, and then the red in the background of the Joyce Fountain. Now the Joyce Fountains, they're opening up already, so they're pretty much finished. The bumblebees like that. You can see how they're starting to open up, and they've faded in color now. But I mean, it's just a mass of beauty. Let me grab an Anastasia green here. Sorry, bumblebee. Here's Anastasia green. And that's why I don't think the other one is actually Anastasia bronze, because the petals are too long. Like, look at that. How many flowers do you get in that color of green? I just love it. Oh, it's so exciting. It's like it's a leaf. It's like it could have chlorophyll and it could like photosynthesize. Anyways. So Anastasia green, Apricot Courtier, bronze rayonette. It's also, I believe, a quill form. Yeah, you can see how the petals are rolled up except at the tip, and they kind of start opening up. That's a quill form. Here's another one. Oh, it's not a very nice one. Here's a clump of them. That's beautiful. This is another one that's in a pot that I just dug out of the garden. And it's on on the soil and everything's fine. And a little protection in a pot. So that's one half of the greenhouse, and then here's the other half. So we've got some of the varieties I've already shown you, just in pots. Again, here's another one of the one that I had labeled as Anastasia bronze, which definitely is not. So I'm gonna, as I said before, find the name of that one. I have some, these are called Puma. They're just opening up, so I'll save that for later. We got a big, I'll have to dig out the label. It's down there. It's either a white city or a, I've forgotten. I have a big white city. These are the big, large exhibition ones, so I'll show that when it gets bigger. It'll be huge. And then, oh, I have to show you this one. Look at that. Look at that for color. I have this one labeled as Seton's Coffee. It's the first year I've grown it. I got it from a friend. I don't have anything else in this color. It's, again, I'm going to try and explain. It's a coppery, beigey, coffee colored. I don't really know, but definitely interesting, unique Seton's Coffee. I had a little trouble with this one. I don't know if he's going to be more difficult to grow, but I had a little trouble growing this guy, but he's fine now. He's nice and healthy now. Oh, my little gardening buddy is sneaking in. No digging, Astro. And there's some younger Seton's Coffee here. And then we have this guy. It's called Flying Saucer, Yellow Flying Saucer. So he's also going to open up with, supposedly, a bunch of petals around the outside and a kind of puff ball in the middle to make it look like a flying saucer shaped. So it's quite substantial because I have disbudded. So on this stem, for instance, I've only let the one come up. That's why it's so big. But you can let more than one come up, and then they'll be much smaller. So Flying Saucer. And then we've got Baltica Lime, which again is covered in bloom. It's really those, like the spray varieties that you see kind of in the bouquets, I guess. It's flatter, so it goes into arrangements nicely. It's a very nice, almost fades to a white on the end, with some yellow and fresh lime green kind of color to it. There's a whole bunch up here. Let's see if I can. It's got long, nice long stems. I could see this being really good for cut flower production. There's some more. Anyways, lots of it. Baltica lime, and I have another one called Zembla lime, which are going to be quite similar. And here is Seton Shador amongst the Baltica limes. Actually, they look really nice together. Anyways, let me go closer to the Seton Shadors here. So these blooms have been out for quite a while for me. So they're getting a little, like the petals are getting a little bit dirty. Here's one here. It's beautiful. And I definitely will have lots of Seton Shador because I grew a lot of plants out in the field. So I have a lot of plants for cutting materials. And then this is where I had dug them all out from because I thought they'd be frozen, but in fact they are not. They are still all growing quite happily here. And I know next week is still good, so I'll definitely see the blooms on this one. Oh, I have a little spray mum. I thought I'd try it to see if I could grow it. This is Paradiso Bronze, and in fact it was very easy to grow. So I'll grow a few of those for my garden. This is, I think, the only one that I have not shown in the videos already. And again, it's still just opening up. This one is called Shock, I guess because of its shocking pink color. So I'll show you that when they're a little bit more opened up so you can actually see what the color is like. It's hard in the sun here. It's hard in the shade. Doesn't make a difference. So yeah, everything's growing really well, and I'm very happy for this long, unexpectedly long season of growing for my mums and for the beauty that is in my greenhouse right now. Take care, everyone.